It's Emily Rand with ESPN Esports, and I am currently joined by GodRX of the Minnesota ROKKR. So, first of all, thank you for joining me. I know we talked about this off camera, but it's like early-ish. It's about like 12 noon. Just how are you doing in general?
Well, first off, thank you for having me, Emily. I'm doing pretty good, but coming off another second place finish, it stinks, but it's also a good sign of consistency switching from land to online. But overall, I'm feeling good. I'm doing good personally, but yeah, just doing good.
I'm gonna start. We're gonna go over this weekend's event too, but I actually want to start right after LA. What we had about a week or two before it was announced that all of the homestands were canceled. So immediately after LA, you guys have this like super close finals against the Empire. I assume you're like sad but also kind of pumped up, and then they make this announcement. Like where were you specifically, and then what was going on with the team at that time, and how did you guys react?
Yeah, so after our LA event and finals, I actually flew straight home Sunday night to surprise my parents back home, and I remember I was so right by my house there's like a lake, and I was sitting there, and then we got the conference call, and they announced everything like that, and hearing it for the first time, I understood why, because what's going on right now, but it kind of sucked to hear it because we all love land events, we all love being in front of that crowd, that environment, and I knew everything wasn't gonna be the same, but we all sat there and talked after, and we said like, listen, like it is what it is. We just have to make do with the situation. We have to take everything 100% now, like no matter what happens. But the team at first wasn't too happy about it, but like I said, everything happened, or with everything that's going on right now, I understood. So we just sat there and like over time, we got used to it and just had to make do with it.
What's been the biggest difference between? I mean, obviously, like for the event itself, it's the crowd, which is really. I mean, you guys have talked about it before. I know several, like you've talked with me about it before. Silly's talked about it with me before. Just the fact that we have this crowd that's now super behind people that aren't optic and like really specific players
Right.
has kind of been one of the successes of the league this year. So obviously that is very different. But how has your preparation changed as well? Because as far as I know, what Sim is in Toronto,
Yeah.
Silly
And
is
then
in
Vegas.
Vegas,
Yep.
yeah, and then you're back on the East Coast. So how has prep been? What's different about that?
For our preparation now, I mean, on certain days you do have those practices where it's like you are taking it serious, but it's you like have those days where it just feels kind of off, and you just want to have like a relaxed, like kind of fun day, kind of where you just want to like BS around, kind of. But now with like everything being online, we all sat down. We said that we have to take every single practice 100% serious now. But that's mainly been like the big difference. That's like the only thing, pretty much.
And then you actually said that it was pretty successful because your consistency on land and then online is actually, if you look at your performance, it's still pretty steady. So there wasn't a drop off or anything. But what was this weekend's event like for you guys?
This weekend's event, like I said before, it's definitely different and new, like from land online. Like I said, the crowd, and then having to play online with like the new servers and everything like that. Me personally, I mean, even though you said like I play consistent, I feel like I could have played a lot more better. I feel like I was inconsistent at some points, but I mean, we just I don't know, we like the big difference was just the land online servers. That was just it mainly.
How bad were they? I asked Sane about this too, especially since he was the one that posted that Zed through the through the
Yeah,
door clip from a Sims perspective. But like
right.
from a player perspective, like how bad was it?
So I mean, before every match, they have us test out multiple servers, and some of them are honestly not the greatest. But then there's a couple that feel really good. But I remember during the Paris match, that same clip you just talked about, literally the entire lobby was lagging left and right, no matter what happened. But that's just like one of the downsides to online, I guess. Is just having those constant laggy servers. But I just hope in the future that they fix it, which I have faith they will.
And then one of the strengths of your team specifically that we saw again at this tournament is when you face a really tough opponent, you're able to actually prep super well for them the next time around and beat them again, right? So happened with Atlanta, and then this past weekend it happened with Dallas. How did you guys prep for Dallas and manage to beat them?
Prepping for Dallas is the same way with Atlanta, and then I remember Maven talk about us just like prepping like as if you're playing for a football game. You just prep with the team you're going up against, and we just did the same thing. We watched film over and over again. We learned their tendencies on the maps, and we actually played them on the same two hard points we did in the grand finals. And we switched up our break, and we studied what they're going to do, what their tendencies were, and it ended up paying off for us.
So then your next event is the Mutineers homestand. And I assume you're going to do the same thing, right? You're going to prep and be Florida.
It is the same thing for us. I'm actually seeing a little trend here. Like you said, we play the team first time, lose to them, play them again, beat them, play them first time, lose to them, play them again, beat them. Same thing happened with Florida. So I'm expecting the trend to continue. Third time's a charm.
And then you guys have like a kind of longer time off because you're not playing it in the next event. So just what are you going to do with your time?
Uh, our time now. I mean, we're obviously taking a couple of days off because we just had an event, and but having a longer break, still gonna scrim as usual. But the upside to having this little break is and like not playing at the next event, you get to watch the teams and actually study the stream and all that, and watch what they're good at, what they're not good at.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me, especially since it's technically early, like I said, it's noon. Um,
Early
and
for
all the
gamers.
I know, right, exactly. Or you just you go to sleep at all. Thank you so much for joining me. All the best, not in Florida, but at the Florida event. And for more Call of Duty League coverage, keep it here on ESPN Esports.
Thank you so much, Emily.